In the endless darkness of Michigan's winter, there are streets where the sound of footsteps no longer signifies life, but echoes of survival. Here, the glow of streetlights glides like a faint hope over the frozen asphalt. Neighborhoods reveal their true faces at night, a place where silence is more dangerous than a scream. The people of Michigan have learned to breathe without feeling alive. In this forgotten land, warmth is a myth, and the law exists as an ambiguous presence among the shadows. If you think America is just a land of wealth and electricity, prepare to journey into its deepest pit of darkness. Welcome to Michigan, a place where cold is not the only enemy. Michigan, once a symbol of industry, labor, and pride, has now become a cold mirror of the decline of the American dream. Its broad streets, which once resonated with the sounds of General Motors and Ford factories, now host the howling wind and the sound of rusty shopping carts pushed by the homeless. In the eastern parts of Detroit, in neighborhoods that once symbolized the middle class, tonight the windows are shattered and roofs have collapsed. Houses that still carry the scent of burnt walls in the air are the same ones where a child once dreamed of becoming an engineer. They now serve as shelters for rats and refuges for addiction. Michigan is no longer just about crime. It is the story of people engaged in a silent battle between poverty and oblivion. Police patrol some areas at night, only from a distance, not out of fear of gunfire, but from the weight of desperate gazes. Gazes that see the law, not as a protector, but as a dispassionate witness to their downfall. In the gray zone, a name given by locals to certain areas of West Detroit, life takes on a different definition. During the day, the streets still resemble life. A few children lose their plastic ball among the stones. A woman waits in line for free food with her cell phone. An elderly man sits on an old wooden chair, gazing at a building that was once his workplace. But when night falls, everything changes. The lights go out, faces fade into shadows, and breaths grow shorter. In this corner of the world, being homeless is no longer a social label. It is a universal condition. Many have homes, but those homes lack warmth, food, and smiles. People here have learned to survive on the bare minimum. One meal, a borrowed blanket, and the hope of perhaps seeing the next winter. However, this crisis is not solely the result of poverty. Its roots lie in neglect. Neglect from politics, society, and even fellow citizens. Michigan is a victim of an era in which industry has faltered and humanity has fallen out of the value equation. Tens of thousands lost their jobs after factories closed. Neighborhoods were abandoned, and cities, like corpses condemned to silence, merely draw shallow breaths. On some streets, young people trade for a few dollars, worth of cigarettes or a bottle of drink. Yet in their eyes lies something beyond crime. It reflects the fatigue of a world that has turned its back on them. They do not wish to be thieves. They just do not want to disappear. Amidst this despair, groups of volunteers and activists strive to push back against the darkness. With blankets, hot soup, and a few kind words, they make the cold nights a bit more bearable. However, the reality is that the hearts of Michigan's people are colder than the air. They no longer believe in salvation, perhaps because they have heard too many promises and seen too little action. Nonetheless, hope exists. In the snowy shadows, on the frozen midnight roads, young people have still decided to stand firm. They create music, soften municipalities, and remind themselves that the essence of life is still worth fighting for. One of them says, "We live in a dead city, but we are still alive." This statement may encapsulate the true essence of Michigan today. From Excelsior Street to 7 Mile, from Warren to Flint, the narrative repeats itself. Behind every closed door, there's a story of a mother who lost her child to addiction, of a young person searching for work with a broken phone. They are all chapters in a book that America has long avoided reading, the Book of Forgotten Residents. Michigan is a microcosm of a larger equation. When hope is stripped from the fabric of society, security takes on a foul odor. And no matter how stringent the law becomes, it cannot mend what is decaying from within. Here, danger arises not just from guns or crime, but from the meaninglessness of life. When no one feels seen, when no dream is within reach, the city turns into a crypt that has forgotten how to register breaths. But let's not forget, this story is not just about fear. It is about humanity. It's about a strange desire that does not die, even in boundless darkness. It's about the inevitable pull of survival, which still thrives in every corner of Michigan. Every child, every homeless person, every addict serves as a living witness to this desire, the desire to remain, even in a land where no one else holds hope. And perhaps, in the end, Michigan is not a symbol of death, but a symbol of contradiction. A place where downfall and resilience, despair and love are intertwined. A city that does not scream, it merely endures at any cost. Michigan is not finished yet. Hearts are still beating, and there are still people who refuse to be extinguished. Listen to this narrative. See it and share it with others. Perhaps your voice, your share, or even just watching this video can ignite a small flame on one of this state's cold nights. We may not be able to save the whole world, but we can carve out one more breath for them.